Hello viewers, here is a Sharp, or the Dole, TV. This is a pretty small TV. It's about 14 inches. Let's see if it has an information tag on it anywhere. It's kind of dirty. Here's the informations. The Sharp Corporation, model number 13N-M150B, 53 the watts. That's actually a lot less power than I thought it was going to take. June 2002. This television has been in the family since it was new. It was purchased when we moved into the previous house. And it was used in the kitchen. It was used in the kitchen the entire time we were at that house. And then when we moved to this house, it was replaced by a flat screen TV. Ooh, flat screen. And then I used this for a little while in the studio room here. This was back before it was cluttered out. And then I replaced it with a flat screen TV. Ooh, flat screen, just because it was bigger. And then we got rid of cable television, and I never really watched television again. And this has been sitting in the cabinet unused for, I would say, at least 5 years now. I've had a couple people ask about showing old TVs, and I really don't have a lot of old TVs. We used to have a Sony Trinitron TV, which I wish we didn't get rid of. It was donated to the local police department, which is a good thing. They needed a TV, so that's fine. But that was a great TV. And an excellent picture. It was a big one too. It was like 20-some inches. And I used to watch, years ago, when I was in high school, I used to watch YouTube on that TV using my Dell Inspiron 5100. Had S-video output. I put S-video into that TV and I watched the videos that way. Anyways, I've been wanting to plug this in and turn it on because it shouldn't be just sitting without power for that long. You know, stuff tends to break when it's not in service. So I figured, especially since people are interested in seeing older TVs, this is a good time to go ahead and show it. Now, of course, this is an analog TV, or Anatan, and there is no longer an analog TV broadcast in this area, so we're not going to have any cable reception. So I have a VCR player that I have gotten out. We'll hook that up. Actually, this will be kind of a dual video because I have never showed this VCR on video. This is also the Sharp, or the Dole, VC-H960 player. And I have the remote for this thing somewhere, but I didn't get it out for the video. Anyways, I do have the remote for the TV set. That kitchen at the old house is very bright, so consequently the remote is yellowed. It's missing the battery cover. It has been for eons because it was taped at some point. The buttons are getting a little sticky sounding, so they probably need to be cleaned. We'll see if it still works. It still worked when I took it out of service. Okay, the whole TV needs to be cleaned up too. It's got all like kitchen yuck on it. Try to get the kilowatts in the picture here too. Okay, the capacitors are charging up. Okay, let's power it on. still works perfectly fine. And we're only drawing 27 watts. It's emitting a horrible high frequency sound. Alright, so that seems to work. If I change it to cable, we'll just get static. Oh my gosh, the green numbers. I haven't seen that in a long time. And the volume bar. Jeez, it's been a long time since I've watched TV on CRT set. A long time. Wow. Incredible. What a throwback. Wow. Okay. Well, let's get this VCR player hooked up. The VCR player is already taking 0.7 watts just to be powered on. And this television set is only mono audio. It's got one speaker on the right side, nothing else. Let me get this connected here. This VCR player has stereo output, but I'm only going to get one channel going into the TV, of course, because that's all that there is physically available. Jeez, the sound is static. It's kind of like an obsolete sound. Okay, so we're back on input, and let's turn this thing on. How do we on this power? Okay. And we have the infamous blue screen. No tape in there. So I have an old tape here. This is a PCTV tape. How to install an internal hard disk. I think I've uploaded this film, in fact. I digitized it. And I'm pretty sure I uploaded the Digitan copy at some point. Okay. Yeah, it's got a pretty sharp picture to it. megabytes.
You've just bought a hard drive for your computer, and I'm sure you want to get it installed as soon as possible. I'm David Houghton, and I'm going to show you just how quick and easy the installation can be. First, I'll show you how to install and connect your hardware, and then I'll show you how to install the software that makes it all work. Now, I know some of you have 20 megabyte drives, some of you have 30 megabyte drives, and others of you have 40 megabyte drives.
Some have 16 terabytes now.
The hardware are the same no matter what drive you bought, so everyone should watch the first part of this tape. But the software instructions that you need to watch will depend on the drive you've got. I'll tell you more about that later. I've put some titles at the bottom of the screen so you can identify specific sections of the tape. It says Introduction now, but as I continue with the demonstration, the titles will change. This will be important when we get to the software installation, but it should also make it easier to find any other section if you need to rewind and review the tape.
Yeah, I have to say, this is really pretty clear. I think VHS and CRT TVs were extremely underrated, especially in like the 90s and the 2000s when the Digitan cameras were in existence, but they were really low resolution. If you had a decent quality tape that was in good condition and a decent quality camera and a decent quality television set, the picture was clear. And even like this stuff, this is all generally economy grade equipment. This is nothing out of the ordinary here. And it's still clear.
First, I'll show you what you should have received.
And the sound is perfectly fine too.
Then I'll show you how to remove the cover of your PC and give you a brief tour of the major components you'll find there. And finally, I'll show you how to install and connect your new hard drive and its disk controller card. That'll complete the hardware installation, but you've still got to install the software if you want your drive to work.
I mean, look at the detail on the face.
The 20 and 30 megabyte drives are the same, but the 40 megabyte drive has its own set of software instructions. If you have the 20 or 30 megabyte drive, your software instructions will follow right after the hardware installation section and will be identified at the bottom of the screen. If you've got the 40 megabyte drive, complete the hardware installation and then just fast forward the tape until you see the title at the bottom of the screen change to 40 megabyte software. I'll remind you of this again later. Of course, if you have any questions, just call our technical department at 1-800-PCC-TECH. Let's get started. Check the package that you received and make sure you should have the hard drive and a half-height faceplate, a controller card, a 34-pin controller cable, a 20-pin data cable, mounting screws, a filler plate, and finally, a set of PC connection instructions. If you're missing anything that I've just mentioned, call us. You'll need some simple tools to do the installation. A Phillips head and straight blade screwdriver and nut driver set should do it. If you're going to remove one of your floppy drives, you'll also need something to adjust your dip switches. Most people just use a ballpoint pen. Before you open the cover of your PC, it's extremely important to rid your body of static electricity. A tiny amount of static electricity, even sparks that you can't feel, can damage the chips inside your computer. The best way to get rid of the static buildup on your body is to touch a computer frame while the power cord's still plugged in. If you go away to answer the phone or grab a snack, don't forget to get rid of the static charge again. Unplug any cables that may be attached to the back of your PC and move them out of your way so you'll have easy access to the computer.
And that's
I'll use this PC that's already been disconnected.
36 watts. For 6 watts, this looks a lot better.
You'll have to remove these 5 screws to free up the cover. I've already taken mine out. Then turn the computer around and remove the cover by pulling it toward you. If the cover's stuck, give it a little tug. Be careful as you slide it forward. There's a tab on the inside cover that can catch on cables and pull them out or damage them. The tab will catch on the front of your PC, so lift up like this and take it completely off.
Whoops.
The motherboard holds RAM and ROM chips and is the heart of your PC. Back here are the expansion slots where you can plug in internal memory boards, modems, or a disk controller card. When the motherboard is installed, like this one, the expansion slots are here. This is my video adapter card, which translates the zeros and ones that the computer understands into letters and numbers that I can understand. This is a memory expansion card. And here's the floppy controller, which allows the PC to read and write data to its floppy disk.
Now, obviously, like this camera I'm recording with now is clearer, but for the age of this equipment, it's really not bad. I think it was highly underrated. I'll rewind this tape and then we'll eject it. Seems to rewind pretty slowly. It sounded like it stopped, but it hasn't really given me any indication that it has. Yeah, it did rewind. Okay. Still making that awful high frequency sound, but that's fairly normal. Okay, so that still works. That's good. Let's turn this thing off, put it back on again. Okay. Yeah, I'm glad that still works. That was sitting for a lot longer than it should have been. What I do want to get is, I want to get some equipment that will convert like VGA, I guess, to, I always forget if it's composite or component video. So I could use this TV to watch stuff on the computer.